Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode 249. That's right, next week's show marks the 250th episode of the program, nearly 5 years. I'll announce a giveaway, a contest next week as well, to celebrate the 250th episode of Tech It Out next week. Hey, we do have a great show for you today though. I'll start off talking about some gadget and game gift ideas for dads and grads, as June marks graduation month for high schoolers and college students. And on June 19th, next Sunday, it's Father's Day, of course, so I'll share some ideas. After that, on Tech It Out, we'll catch up with digital lifestyle expert Stephanie Humphry about financial literacy tools for kids and teens tied to a national bank. Then, who is playing video games in this country? On what devices? And why? Well, I'll sit down with the Entertainment Software Association's Stanley Pierre-Louis to discuss the findings of its 2022 Essential Facts About the Video Game Industry report. And I think a lot of these findings are going to surprise you. And finally, WD Blue will join us on Tech It Out a little bit later to chat with us about what's new in fast storage for content creators and on-the-go professionals. And we'll also be joined by Dropbox in the same interview to talk about a partnership and promotion between WD and Dropbox. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out, powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. I'll tell you more about ASUS shortly, but let's officially kick off the show with our first segment. So as I mentioned earlier in the show, I had a lot of fun on TV this week. I kicked off the start of my dads and grads chats on various TV stations. Just like last year, some gadget gift ideas for Father's Day coming up on June the 19th, of course, Sunday, as well as some tech gift ideas for graduates. My youngest son, Ethan, is graduating high school this month, off to university to join his twin siblings, actually in 3 different schools though, but I digress. Lots of ideas, depending on your budget and your tastes. I wanted to share about 8 different ideas with you right now, if you want to jot down some of them. Why don't we start off with some great games for dads and grads? For nostalgic gamers who remember Wii Sports, remember the motion-controlled games that you would play with a Wii remote about 10 years ago or so? Well, the sequel is here. It's Nintendo Switch Sports. For the Nintendo Switch console, a very popular portable gaming system, of course, you use the Joy-Con controllers to play tennis, volleyball, badminton, bowling, and more. There's some sword play, and I think golf is coming out later this year. So a lot of fun. You actually use the motion of the controller to interact with the ball or the birdie if it's badminton. You can play by yourself or with someone nearby or over the internet. And while you can download the game from the Nintendo eShop, the physical version includes a leg strap accessory that, as the name suggests, you tie it to your thigh, and then you can, kick a soccer ball and everything reacts in real time, obeying real physics. It's so fun. Nintendo Switch Sports is $39 to start. Speaking of gaming, computer gamers know that Razer's Black Widow series is one of the most iconic mechanical gaming keyboards on the market. And now the Black Widow V3 is loaded with new features for both laptops and desktops to USB keyboard, powered by Razer Chroma backlighting. It has 16.8 million customizable color options. I love when you're playing in the dark with your friends, and all those colors can go in time with the game. And it can even show you relevant hotkeys for that game, so it's customized to the game itself. And speaking of that keyboard, it has tough keycaps for use and abuse and prolonged play. Of course, when you're in a heated action game, you're pretty rough on these keyboards. It has to withstand all that abuse. The Razer Black Widow V3 definitely does that. And it includes a wrist rest as well for comfort and ergonomics. It's $99 for the Razer Black Widow V3, and it works with any, Windows computer. All right, next up, a cellular signal booster is great for homes and cottages to strengthen your connection. The SureCall Flare 3.0 cell signal booster is a top-of-the-line model that works in homes up to 3,500 square feet. feet. And it doesn't matter what brand of smartphone you use or who your carrier is. You install that omnidirectional antenna outside your home, which is connected to the booster in your home, and then it covers a huge amount of space for calls, texts, and data, strengthening your signal so no more embarrassing dropped or missed calls, especially those who work from home. It'll get rid of that. Perfect for cottages. It works with 4G and 5G phones and even those portable hotspots that you may have as well. Again, it's the SureCall Flare 3.0 cellular signal booster for $379. If you want to treat a dad or a grad to a new TV, the LG C2 OLED television is a gorgeous television using OLED technology, those self-lit pixels, following last year's best-selling premium television, the C1. With the C2, new for 2022 is this 42-inch size, which is perfect for dad's man cave or maybe for a grad's gaming setup. It could be used as a monitor, in fact, but super slim. You know the deal with OLED, unprecedented contrast levels, and it's got LG Evo technology for better brightness and richer color, Dolby Vision, and as a gaming display, it's got 1 millisecond response times. It's got 120 hertz refresh rate. So in plain English, when you're playing those fast action games, it'll keep up and look amazing on it. So again, the LG C2 OLED TV is available now for $13.99. And to go with that TV, how about a stellar soundbar? The Xiaomi soundbar 3.1 channel speaker is on sale for $389, down from $429 through Father's Day. This features Dolby Digital and DTX Virtual X certified sound with 430 watts of power. It's got Bluetooth 5 support, so you can stream content from other devices like smartphones and tablets and laptops. It's got multiple input ports, optical, HDMI, coaxial, USB. I love the elegant and minimalist design to sit just below or above your television. And it even has NFC or near field communication, so you just tap to pair it with your mobile device if you're going to be streaming music for a house party this summer. So again, it's the Xiaomi soundbar 3.1 channel, Dolby Digital and DTX Virtual X supported soundbar for audio, on sale for $389. A couple of more ideas for you for the outside of the home. The Epson Epic Vision Mini EF12 streaming laser projector is perfect for summer movie nights in the backyard or while glamping. So you can splash an image against the side of a home or a tent, or when used indoors, you can even project an image up to 150 inches onto a ceiling. Maybe the kids have a sleepover and they're all lying on a carpet and looking up and watching a Disney movie on the ceiling. It's super magical. Again, it projects a 4K image up to 150 inches, and it's also ideal for gaming, for exercise classes. It has built-in Android TV, or you can synchronize your phone, but with that built-in Android TV platform, you sign into your favorite services and you can stream away. It's got Yamaha sound and so many other bells and whistles. It's $9.99, and again, that's the Epson Epic Vision Mini EF12 streaming laser projector. Laser meaning that it does not take a bulb that you have to replace, and it's super bright as well. One more for the outside, some tasty tech. Traeger has a new line of Timberline branded smart grills, so smart barbecues that take wood pellets instead of propane, but it really does change the flavor. It's so good. As a techie, I love that it works with an app or a smart speaker, so you can control it all remotely, even while, entertaining with friends using your voice or by tapping on an app on your smartphone. It's a barbecue, it's a smoker, you can bake on it, roast, even has like an area to put like a frying pan on outside. There's integrated sensors and meat thermometers, so you can get that exact doneness that you want. There's recipes in that app. So essentially it tells you what's going on without you having to lift the lid. There's also a color touch display on the front of the unit. Speaking of sensors, it'll also tell you when it's time to replace those wood pellets, which is great. So again, it's the new Timberline grills. They're the top of the line models, up to 1,320 square inches of cooking space on the Timberline XL version. Prices start at $34.99 for the Timberline family. Again, that's from Traeger, but they do have less expensive options as well. But they all take wood pellets, and they have that Wi-Fi technology, so you can use an app or your voice on a compatible smart speaker to give commands and get information about what's happening when you're cooking up a meal for your family or for your friends. So as you can see, no shortage of awesome options. You can head over to my website, marksaltzman.com, to see these in action as well. That's MarkSaltzman.com. Hey, this show, Tech It Out, is powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. Asus creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops and desktops, accessories like monitors and keyboards and mice, mobile tech like smartwatches, smartphones, and tablets. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's simply asus.com/US/radio. And if you are looking for a laptop for dads and grads, maybe the family wants to go in on a sleek laptop for that graduate in the family, or for dad for work or play, you should check out the Asus ZenBook S13 OLED, a stunningly thin and only 2.43-pound computer that makes it the world's lightest 13.3-inch 2.8K OLED laptop. So a gorgeous screen. So yes, an OLED screen, just like that TV I talked about a couple of moments ago, but this is in an elegant laptop powered by an AMD Ryzen processor, AMD Radeon graphics, and solid-state storage, or SSD, instead of a hard drive. This all-metal Asus ZenBook, and the model number, by the way, is UM5302, is finished in a sophisticated ponder blue color. It really helps it stand out in a coffee shop, an airport lounge, or hotel lobby. And along with your fingertip, the touchscreen display supports a pressure-sensitive stylus, like the Asus Pen. Immersive, multi-dimensional sound is provided by a Harman Kardon certified Dolby Atmos audio system with a powerful smart amplifier. Learn more about the ZenBook S13 OLED at asus.com/US/radio. I'm really excited about this next interview with Stanley Pierre-Louis, President and CEO of the Entertainment Software Association, about its findings tied to the 2022 Essential Facts About the Video Game Industry report, including just who is playing video games, and these findings may just surprise you. Stick with us. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. Covering the video game industry for more than a quarter of a century, I'm still intrigued at who is playing video games exactly, especially when it shatters stereotypes, as well as what we're playing and why. So I always look forward to the annual Essential Facts About Video Games report published by the ESA, the Entertainment Software Association. And we're going to learn about the latest findings now, as we're joined by President and CEO of the ESA, Stanley Pierre-Louis. Welcome back to the show, Stan. Always great to chat with you.
Hi, Mark. Thanks so much.
Great. Now, before we talk about the 2022 Essential Facts About the Video Game Industry, please tell us about the ESA, sort of at a high level. What's the goal of this Washington, D.C. based organization?
The Entertainment Software Association serves as the voice and advocate for the U.S. video game industry. That means we try to expand and protect the dynamic marketplace for video games and to really let the public know about the great things going on in games. We work with the media and press so that they understand what's coming, but also from a public policy perspective, we work with legislators and policymakers to understand how our businesses run and how we help society. We also own and operate E3, which is the world's largest and premier showcase for computer and video games and related products. Mm-hmm. And we have a sister organization, the ESRB, the Entertainment Software Rating Board, which provides ratings and content information for families and consumers generally.
Yeah, that's great. That's that little sticker in the corner of a video game box that tells you who the game is ideal for, such as T for teen or M for mature. And then on the back of the box, it gives you a content descriptor. It tells you why it received that rating. ESRB website, they also tell you how to enable some of those parental controls with game systems. So Stan, what is the annual Essential Facts report all about? That is, what is it that you set out to find each year?
Our Essential Facts report is a yearly survey to understand U.S. player demographics and perceptions of the U.S. video game sector. We're excited about this year's Essential Facts report. One of the key takeaways is that video game engagement continues to be strong among players in the United States. 2/3 of Americans play video games, which translates into more than 215 million players. And who plays is just as interesting as how many people are playing. 48% of players identify as female and 52% identify as male. We also had a category for not choosing a gender, but less than 1% chose that, which reflects the U.S. population. Mm-hmm. The other interesting thing is the average age is 33 years old. And so we see a sustained gameplay as people get older and playing deeply in games. What's really surprising about the numbers, though, is that you have more people over 45 years old playing than under 18. And that just speaks to the growth and the adoption of gameplay and how people even later in life continue to gravitate towards games.
Love it. And again, this really does shatter those stereotypes that I hinted at the top of the interview. So almost half, 50-50, male, female play games, 2/3 of the population. So it's not like some little niche industry, and adults are playing it, not just little kids as well. So let's just be fair here then, Stanley. Someone who plays, say, Candy Crush on their iPad, if they play a couple hours a week, then they are a gamer, just like a 16-year-old boy playing Call of Duty or something on his TV.
What we find is that every demographic plays games, whether that's on PC, console, or mobile device. And all of those folks are playing games. And what we have found is that at every stage of life, there's a game for everyone. One of the interesting things in thinking about older Americans, our study finds players over 65 look for games that stimulate their brains, provide for personal improvement, memory enhancement, but also for intergenerational play. Grandparents love playing with their grandkids. And a lot of the things we're seeing in our studies mirror some of the studies by other organizations like the AARP, which puts out a study every 2 to 3 years on what they call silver gamers. And it's heartening to see that other groups are also seeing what we're seeing in video game play among every demographic.
How does it compare to last year? This survey, 33 years old as the average age of a game player. Has that been consistent?
It's been in the mid-30s for some time because as players continue to grow and play, they add to that. And younger players also play quite a bit, and they enter at a younger age and then past 33. So it continues that. But there are quite a few numbers that have improved. One area which we were heartened to see is the area of mental health. Mental health has clearly been something we've thought about quite a bit as a society, particularly given what COVID did in creating social isolation. People connected through games. They got together with family and friends, but they also sought out games for stress relief, for mental stimulation, for joy. And we saw growth in those numbers. So last year, 87% of players said that they thought games provided very strong stress relief. This year, that number's gone from 87% to 89%. Same with mental stimulation. That went from 87% to 91%. So you're seeing on all these matrices about mental health and stimulation, people play games and find that games help relieve that stress. And part of that is that people are not only playing games for joy, but they're playing together. So those shared experiences of playing help drive not only the growth, but people's enjoyment. And that's another big area of growth. In our report in 2020, 65% of people said that they played together with someone, either online or in person. In our study last year, that went from 65% to 77%. This year's study shows that 83% of players play with others online or in person. So you've seen a growth over this 2-year span of 65% to 83% of people playing together. And that's in large part because games have become a great way to convene with people socially and to connect with family and friends, as well as the global community.
Love that. I was going to say, it's not just about entertainment, but connections with others as well. When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to continue chatting with Stanley Pierre-Louis, President and CEO of the ESA, the Entertainment Software Association, the voice and advocate for the video game industry in the U.S. We'll continue chatting about the results of its 2022 Essential Facts about the Video Game Industry report. Stick with us. You're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio America Network.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We are chatting with Stanley Pierre-Louis. He is president and CEO of the ESA, the Entertainment Software Association, which publishes an annual Essential Facts about the Video Game Industry survey. And we're learning about the latest findings for 2022. I wasn't surprised to hear about the mental health advantages to video games, but some listeners may find the physical health benefits that the ESA is citing as a bit surprising. Can you tell us a bit about this?
One of the things that consumers of games, as well as non-consumers of games, the people who are around games, have found is that 97% of all Americans agree that video games have positive benefits. And so as we dug deeper into what that means, people look to games to enhance their life skills. And we thought that was really incredible. So whether it's building physical skills, cognitive skills, creative skills, people look to games to build them. And you're finding teachers and parents also using games to teach responsible digital citizenship. Because if you've got the attention of people who play games, why not teach them about safety online through games? And that's been a real boon. The other thing is, many people play sports. Video games are now viewed as a great way to teach kids sportsmanship, how to win and lose in a healthy manner, how to actually build resilience, because you always lose in games in order to get to the next level. You've got to grind your way to win and then get to the next level. And building that resilience is something really important through games. So we're seeing a lot of life skills being built through games.
I thought you were going to touch on the many different exercise and sports related games that do require some sort of physical activity. I love seeing that trend. Nintendo has their new Nintendo Switch Sports game, which is kind of reminiscent of the old Wii games. I remember watching my mom playing bowling with a Wii controller in her hand, and that's now back, as well as virtual reality fitness. My wife, Kelly, who is a kickboxer and fitness instructor and personal trainer, loves these games that where you don a headset and you have to be physical in order to beat the level. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that as we sort of evolve into the metaverse and this hybrid digital and physical thing. So it's just, again, going against the stereotype that every game has someone just sitting there, like a blob on their sofa playing a game. That's certainly not the case for all games, not to mention all the new mobile games where you walk around and you're virtually looking at your environment through the camera lens. So there's lots of genres that do encourage you to get up and move around as well.
And that's a great point. I mean, the very point of creating a game like Pokemon Go was actually to get people stimulated about what's in their community and environment. And it has driven a tremendous amount of physical activity among players.
Before we wrap up, Stanley, let's chat about video games as a platform to build diverse communities. Again, another great example of what games are doing compared to some other industries.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the important things about video game development is it can happen at any scale. Large companies, small companies, large developers, small developers. And what we've seen over the past few years is the encouragement of creating opportunities for people from underrepresented communities to add their voice to the community of gameplay. And you're now seeing more games from different perspectives. Sometimes they're along racial lines, gender lines, LGBTQ. But also, one of the things we found in our report is that people view video games as an important tool for inclusivity, both in online environments and also for creating accessible experiences for people who have physical limitations. People may not be familiar with this, but Xbox has a tool called the Xbox Adaptive Controller that allows people with limitations with their arms and legs to be able to play in various ways. And it has really leveled the playing field for people of all abilities to play together.
Love it. And again, whether you're into Wordle or Elden Ring or anything in between, there's so much to choose from, and there's so many positive stories that come out of this space. And I always enjoy chatting with you, Stanley, about this. So thank you for carving out some time to chat. As we wrap up, is there a place where our listeners can go to read the full report?
TheESA.com. That's TheESA.com to learn more about the essential facts of the video game industry.
All right. Stanley Pierre-Louis, thank you so much again for your time. Always great to chat with you.
Thank you.
If you're one of the many families celebrating graduation right now, this might also be a great time to discuss money basics with your child, especially if they received money as a gift. Well, we have Tech Life expert Stephanie Humphry here with us to share some ideas. Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
This is great. I can also benefit from some of these tips. My youngest just graduated from high school, so I'm looking forward to chatting with you. Why is graduation an important time to discuss money with your children?
Well, according to a 2021 study that was hosted by Chase, who I partnered with today, 70% of families are teaching their children about money basics, but that means that 30% of families are not. Teaching kids about money at a young age is crucial for helping them build good financial habits. And graduation is a huge milestone that often comes with a whole new set of responsibilities. So banks can really help students and families prepare for those financial responsibilities that come up with each new chapter.
That's a great point about financial literacy and timing. So what are some, would you say, important lessons to teach kids and teens really here about money?
Well, an important first lesson is to teach kids how to manage money firsthand with a joint bank account. For example, Chase First Banking is for parents with kids age 6 and older, so start them young. While the account is owned by the parent, it provides the kids with their very own debit card that you get to manage through the Chase mobile app. Parents can then manage where and how much their child can spend. They can set limits, and they can approve or decline requests for money. A second lesson is to prioritize saving over spending. Summer's almost here, and that means a lot of activities that come with a high price tag. So take that opportunity to explain the cost to your kids, and then you can even offer a portion of their allowance to allocate to an outing, which helps them learn how to budget. Chase offers the budget tool, which I love, where you can set your budget, track spending, make adjustments as needed. And then the Chase High School account makes a lot of sense here, too. It's available for kids ages 13 to 17 with no monthly service fees. So now your teen can track their spending, their withdrawals, their deposits, and you can rest easy knowing that the debit card transactions have fraud monitoring. The third lesson is to explain that smart spending leads to smart saving. So for instance, Chase offers this great tool called AutoSave, which lets you easily set up repeating automatic transfers from your checking into your savings account. And then finally, offer those activities that teach the importance of earning, like doing chores to earn an allowance, and keep that conversation going. Those conversations are going to be critical. So having those continuous check-ins about savings and expenses are going to be helpful for both parents and children.
Yeah, these are all great tips. We're chatting with Tech Life expert Stephanie Humphry on how parents can help kids financially prepare for post-graduation. She's partnered with Chase, and they've got some help available in a few different ways. Where can we go for more info, Stephanie?
Well, to learn more, you can visit chase.com/family banking. And I just want to say a big congratulations to all the grads out there.
So chase.com/family banking. Thank you. Stephanie Humphry has been our guest. Pleasure chatting with you again. Be well.
Thank you. Take care.
Stick with us on Tech It Out, because when we return, we're going to chat with both Western Digital and Dropbox about a new partnership tied to the WD Blue line of storage. More Tech It Out coming right up.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone, to Tech It Out. You know, we cover cybersecurity a lot on this show and how you can best protect yourself in the digital age, even if you're not so tech savvy. One part of the solution is securely shopping online. And so over the past couple of weeks, I've been chatting about Visa and what they've been doing to make significant investments in fraud prevention. In fact, they've invested billions over the years. You've probably heard about zero liability. So that gives you peace of mind knowing that if there's ever any dispute with something you're shopping for online, Visa's got your back. As the company says, there can be no half measures when it comes to cybersecurity, which is why the company takes an aggressive and multi-layered approach to combating the rising threat of malicious software or malware and other threats by well-funded and global criminal enterprises. Read more about Visa and how securing the world's payments is priority one at the company at visa.com/security. That's visa.com/security. All right, let's continue on with the show. Having fast and reliable storage in your computer has always been and always will be incredibly important, especially among content creators and professionals and the like, who don't have time for any setbacks. Fast and reliable backup is also critical to protect your work in the event something happens. And so I'm thrilled to have two guests on the show for this next interview. One is Vidushi Jain. She is the technical segment marketing lead for Western Digital's WD Blue portfolio, as well as we've got Alexandra Langley with us, business development manager at Dropbox. Welcome, Vidushi and Alex. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having us, Mark.
Well, thanks for having us, Mark. I'm super thrilled to be here.
Okay, awesome. So, Vidushi, why don't we start with you? Before we talk about this new WD Blue solid state drive, or SSD, please tell us a bit about WD Blue as a brand, sort of like a higher level look, and how it fits into the Western Digital family.
Sure, Mark. So as you might already know, WD offers one of the largest portfolio of storage solutions, really across PCs, enterprise, mobility, and more. And within that, WD Blue is a line of product which is great for content creators and creative professionals like freelancers and influencers. Seriously, anyone that creates content, it's a great product for them. So basically, if you're looking for great performance, but you also want reliability and extra peace of mind, our WD Blue products offer that. And we really offer that at a great value.
Okay. And then Alex, you're with Dropbox, and we're going to talk about a partnership with WD Blue on this new drive in a moment. But tell us a bit about Dropbox. If I'm not mistaken, when it comes to cloud storage and backup, Dropbox is the OG, if you will. It's the original, long before we've heard of these other services, right?
Absolutely. Well, Mark, I'm sure you know more than anyone that the boundaries between work and life are getting blurrier and blurrier than ever. And when we think about cloud storage, we're actually looking beyond just a place to put your files. So what Dropbox today is really trying to do is we're about building tools to manage the chaos that our customers now live in and work in so that they can focus on what really matters.
Especially with this new hybrid work environment that many of us are now facing post-pandemic, it's even more important to be able to juggle your personal and professional lives digitally as well.
Which is why we're really excited to be talking to you and Vidushi today. Whether they're talking about creative professionals, content creators, and editors, creators are collaborators. And when the file sizes are large, as they often are when there are creative reviews and assets being exchanged, it's more important than ever to have a thoughtful approach to how your creative files are organized, protected, and how you keep them accessible. It's pretty critical for creatives to be able to deliver their best work, I would say.
Anywhere and anytime, I'd add.
Exactly.
For sure. All right, so Vidushi, with that in mind, tell us about the new WD Blue SA510. This is a SATA SSD or solid state drive.
Hey, Mark. So I'm absolutely thrilled to talk about WD Blue SA510, latest SATA drive in Blue portfolio. And the drive is specifically designed for creators who are looking to upgrade their systems. So let's say you are a creator and you have a 2 or 3 year old system with an HDD. Over time, you will start noticing that your computer is slowing down or completely freezing when you're using some of the creative apps. Mm-hmm. That's usually because creative projects are getting richer and more complex over time. And most of the time, your old system is not able to keep up. And that's where this WD Blue SATA SA510 comes in. So really, in less than $100, you can give your old system a powerful upgrade. So SA510 gives your system a big performance boost, but beyond that, as Mark, you mentioned, it's a solid state drive. So it has no moving part, which means far less vibration or noise. And at the same time, the drive comes with really better power and thermal, which makes it a perfect upgrade for anyone who is looking for a PC makeover. So I'm really, really thrilled to talk about this drive.
Yeah. So to confirm, Vidushi, this is an internal storage solution, not an external one that you would plug into, say, a USB port, correct?
Yes, that's correct. So this is really a drive that goes into your desktop or laptop directly and works as your primary storage.
Yeah, and depending on the computer, it could be pretty simple to go in there and enhance the storage. And as you said, instead of a hard disk drive or HDD, a solid state drive or SSD has several benefits. It's got faster speeds. It consumes less power, which is better on the battery of the laptop. It's lighter and smaller in many cases. And as you said, it's more durable because there's no moving parts, which is great. So lots of advantages to that. And for under $100, I'm actually really surprised because SSDs tend to be a bit more. But we'll get to the storage amounts in a moment. Alex, talk to us about this Dropbox component to the new WD Blue SSD. I understand there's like a promotion or some sort of partnership here.
Yes, there is. So we are doing a special promotion with Western Digital. This offer specifically is for a 3-month subscription to Dropbox Professional, aka Dropbox Pro. That comes with each purchase of a new Western Digital Blue drive. I should specify this is for new and upgrading Dropbox users.
We're going to continue chatting with WD and Dropbox when we return for a few more minutes about this new partnership and what you get for picking up a WD Blue drive and the Dropbox Professional promotion tied to it and how much it would cost otherwise. So we're going to get a sense on that from Dropbox when we return. You are listening to Tech It Out. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. If you're on social media, drop by and say hi. It's Mark with a C, Saltzman with a Z, and I'm on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with Vidushi Jain, Technical Segment Marketing Lead for Western Digital's WD Blue portfolio, and Alex Langley, Business Development Manager at Dropbox, learning about this new promotion, this partnership between the two brands, tied to the new WD Blue SA510 SATA SSD, or solid state drive. All right, so a free 3-month subscription to Dropbox Professional with each purchase for, again, backup and file sharing. How much, Alex, would that be otherwise? What is the monthly or annual cost for Dropbox Dropbox Pro. And what do you get with that?
Yeah, so it's a great offer. So Dropbox Pro is $19.99 a month or $16.58 a month if you purchase an annual plan. And it comes with 3,000 gigabytes of secure storage for one user. Some of the other features that you can use in Pro that are spectacular, especially for creative users, are you can send files up to 100 gigabytes with Dropbox Transfer really easily. You can do mobile offline folders and remote access to like wipe your account if you need to. There's document watermarking, which is huge for creative projects, priority email and live chat support, and you can recover any of your deleted files for 180 days, which is my personal favorite feature.
Yeah, that's handy, just in case you delete something by accident. Or you realize, and this has happened to me, where I have to share the same files with like another editor or producer. And then I'm like, oh no, I have to now re-upload them all. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Then you can go into like the recycling bin kind of thing and then recover it all on the cloud. So it's so handy instead of having to upload all that stuff again. All right, Vidushi, let's just quickly chat a bit about this product again. It's the SA510, as you called it. I called it the 510. I hope they're both okay. And it's a SATA SSD. A SATA refers to the connection type, if I'm not mistaken. It even supports slightly older computers, which is great, unlike NVMe, which is like a newer technology. And then SSD or solid state drive, I talked about some of the benefits of it over a hard drive, but there are reasons why people like external hard drives too, correct?
For sure, Mark. So, I would say there are cases when you really want to go for HDDs versus there are cases where you will absolutely want to go for SSDs. There's never a one size fits all in my mind.
Sure.
So I would say like if you are a creator and looking for something for your everyday workflow, I would strongly recommend that you work with SSD for your primary drive or scratch drive. But then as a creator, you also have a ton of work that you need to preserve or backup, right?
Yeah.
And for that, I think HDD or external HDDs are specifically a very cost-effective solution. Just to give you an example, as I mentioned before, right? For $100, you can get 1 terabyte of SA510 or similar SSDs. And at the same time, for the same amount of money, you can actually get 5 terabyte of external HDD storage. Basically, 5x storage for the same amount of money. Right. So in my mind, a good rule of thumb is if you're looking for performance, definitely go for SSD. If you're looking for cost-effective storage, HDD is your solution to go for.
Got it. So for long-term storage and when you need massive amounts of storage, HDD or hard disk drive is ideal. But then when you're working off the drive and you need speed and you need extra durability, then SSD or solid state is maybe the way to go. All right. So Alex, for Dropbox and Dropbox Professional, what's the best website to learn more?
Yeah, you can learn more about Dropbox Pro on Dropbox.com. Instructions for redeeming the offer can be found on your WD Blue packaging. And be sure to complete the redemption form and click to activate. And once you do that, feel free to start enjoying Dropbox Pro.
All right. Great tip. Thank you, Alex. And Vidushi, you mentioned that the WD Blue SA510, 510, the SATA SSD drive is under $100 to start. That's awesome. How much storage is that and what does it go up to?
Okay, so basically WD Blue SA510 price starts from $64.99 and it actually comes in 3 different flavors. It starts from 256 GB capacity points and go up to 1 terabyte. So based on your requirement, you can pick and choose any one of them.
All right, so 256 gigabytes for $64.99 goes up from there all the way up to 1 terabyte, depending on your needs and your budget. And what's the best place to learn more, Vidushi?
Okay, so you can always visit our website, www.westerndigital.com. And there you can find all the information about the product, form factor, capacity, all of that.
Okay, awesome. Vidushi and Alex, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed this week's Tech It Out radio show and podcast. Speaking of the podcast, if you are listening on your local radio station and you'd like to share this show, simply do a search for Tech It Out, Mark Saltzman. That's Mark with a C, Saltzman with a Z, and you'll be able to find and subscribe to the podcast at your favorite podcast platform and share a link to friends. You can give a review if you like. A rating goes a long way. I appreciate your support. We had a busy show. We chatted about gadget gift ideas for dads and grads. We spoke about video game facts, who's playing games and why. Stephanie Humphry joined us to talk about financial literacy for kids and teens. And we just chatted with WD and Dropbox. If you're on social media, drop by and say hi. As I mentioned, it's Mark Saltzman, Mark with a C, Saltzman with a Z. And I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter Twitter, and YouTube. Oh, before I forget, next week marks the 250th episode of Tech It Out. So we're going to have a stellar giveaway, a contest to tell you about next week. You're going to want to be part of it. So I hope you can tune in next weekend for the 250th episode of Tech It Out. Once again, thank you so much for your support. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. A safe week ahead, and I look forward to catching up with you next time. Be well. Bye-bye.